From the horse carriage controversy to the latest in Colombia, Brian Hicks of the Post and Courier sits down with me one-on-one for this edition of Quintin's Close-Ups. Brian, it is so good to see you again, man.
You too.
I appreciate this.
No problem.
Anytime. Well, let me talk to you about the obvious, and it's something that everyone's talking about around town. And this is the Post and Courier headline from postandcourier.com today. Carriage companies agree to outside study on horse treatment. Charleston Animal Society nixes compromise. As you know, the Charleston carriage industry sent a letter to Joe Elmore just yesterday, and let me read a portion of that letter to you. It says this, quote, "Let this serve as public notice that the Charleston carriage industry no longer has objections to you doing your study, and we want to start as soon as possible." As you know, according to the paper, the Animal Society and the Charleston Carriage Horse Advocates have been wanting an independent study for some time now, and they wanted it by outside experts under the guidelines of the American Association of Equine Practitioners. Of course, the city says that, hey, they don't object to the study, but they're not going to force the carriage companies to participate in the study. And Joe Elmore actually rejected that proposal in a press release earlier today. He says, quote, "The carriage industry thinks that they placed the ball back in our court, but the ball they sent back is flat." He also said this, that a study cannot be done without the horses and the mules that actually live and work in the Charleston area. And of course, the Charleston carriage companies says basically, we're not going to let you guys use our horses. We'll give you water, but we're not going to allow you to use the horses and mules. He says, and Joe Elmore actually said this, quote, "To use a replacement herd would raise questions about the validity of the study and is yet another hurdle thrown into the way of getting answers on what compromises humane working conditions in Charleston." If you were to write a headline for your column tomorrow about this, what would it say?
Carriage industry and Animal Society added, same verse, second verse, same as the first, something like that. They can't agree on anything. I don't understand what the deal is now. I mean, the carriage company, I understand the Animal Society being upset because
Sure.
they want to test these horses,
Right.
and bringing in some outside animals probably wouldn't be that helpful.
Okay.
I mean, that's my first blush look at it. I mean, I learned about it, about the same time you did.
Okay.
I mean, what are they going to do? They're going to bring in other horses and have them pull carriages around? It seems to me that you need a business license for that. But I guess the carriage industry doesn't want to load their horses down with the equipment it would take to monitor them and stuff like that. They're saying have at it.
Right.
So I really don't see any change here. This is just one more volley in this ongoing battle.
In an editorial note, I've asked repeatedly by the Charleston Animal Society to interview Joe Elmore. They don't like my style of interviewing, so I have been rejected, so I just want to put that out there. Let me turn to Colombia, because obviously South Carolina House Speaker Jay Lucas has created a House Opioid Abuse Prevention Study Committee, and the House has sent several opioid rape reform bills to the Senate. Leon Stavronakis actually sent a very interesting tweet earlier today. He says this to Gavin Jackson, who used to work for the Post and Courier but now works for ETV. Leon says this: "The only visible elected leadership in the state government right now is in the South Carolina House of Representatives."
I would have to agree with Mr. Stavronakis on that one. That's not to condemn all of my friends in the South Carolina Senate. There's
Right.
some good guys.
Sure.
But the only people doing anything right now is the South Carolina House, and it's pretty funny because it used to be the Senate was the deliberative body and the House was like a factory. They were just churning out legislation. But the House this session they've been the ones to take the leadership on fixing the roads, on this opioid, and meanwhile the Senate's having hearings on letting people from out of state come in here carrying guns into our restaurants.
And speaking of letting people carry guns into the restaurants, when you think of that, what sticks out to you?
I think that it's nuts. I think that people who feel the need to carry guns everywhere they go because they're so scared are likely to be a little jumpy, and I worry about them. I saw something the other day on one of the social media sites about should you have to worry if you're sitting in the outback and some guy comes in strapped with a gun? Do you have to worry, is he going to be the next movie theater shoot-up guy, or is he a good guy with a gun? And it's, I just don't think businesses ought to have to get into that thing. You're pulling businesses into politics because they're going to have to put signs on their door saying you can't carry a gun in here, and everybody's going to get all mad. And I just think that it's a non-issue. We have a concealed weapons permit. I don't know why they have to have open carry. And I'll tell you the other thing about this, and this is going to be really controversial.
Okay.
The people who want this, I wonder if they would like to see everybody in the community open carrying. In other words, if they drove through the east side, what would happen if they saw somebody standing on this corner with a gun strapped to their waist? Would they think that's would they think that's a freedom, or would they get all stand your ground on them? So I think there are a lot of questions here, and I think that it's just throwing red meat to a certain constituency.
And I was reading in the state newspaper, I believe, that a lot of the lawmakers basically saying, hey, Governor McMaster is not really governor, he's really campaigning. I believe you wrote a column about this. You actually said, Henry McMaster finds once clear path to re-election as South Carolina governor to be filled with potholes. So what are those potholes like in your mind?
Well, I think he hasn't come in here and taken a leadership role, and what he's basically done is by threatening to veto this gas tax bill,
Right.
The compromise that the legislature was working on, and the Senate was working with a House version, and they were going to do something, right or wrong, they were going to do something.
Right.
And when the governor came in and said he was going to veto it, that was all the excuse in the world. The Senate needed to pull back, and now they're in 3 or 4, I don't know how many factions. And I think that the governor here is he's playing too much to the, he was the first guy in the country to endorse Donald Trump.
Right.
And now I think he's playing to that constituency to the detriment of everybody else. And I mean, I can understand he has to run for the primary,
Right.
because the way South Carolina is, a Republican's probably going to win the general election. That's just how it is.
Mm.
So he's playing for the primary, and he's playing for this one constituency of voters. But he came to Charleston last week, and he asked Charleston Republican Party,
Right.
tell your lawmakers to vote against the gas tax.
Right.
Well, afterward, we had a story from Schuyler Croft,
Right.
and these are members of the Republican, county party, and they said, we're not going to do that. That's crazy. We got to fix our roads. We're going to start losing business. People are not going to want to come here. The roads are so dangerous. And I think the fact that you would have, elder statesmen of the Republican Party contradicting a guy who's been, who should still be on his honeymoon, I think that spells trouble for the governor.
Oh my. A couple of things stuck out to me. And I've heard this, and this is just a rumor, but Paul Thurman is actually considering running for governor. When you hear that, what sticks out to you?
I would say I was surprised, but I'm not really surprised by much of anything. He certainly has some name recognition, some family name recognition
Right.
around the state.
Right.
I think, and I always heard that he got frustrated being in the Senate, and it is a frustrating thing to do, to go in there and be a freshman and take 30 years to get seniority to have any power.
Sure.
But I don't know. I thought he was sort of sick of politics, and so I'm surprised he would run.
Mm-hmm.
But, more power to him. He starts with higher name ID than most people.
And of course, as you know, Catherine Templin, that is obviously running for governor as well. And from what I understand, she's outpaced the governor as far as fundraising. What does that tell you?
Right now, Catherine Templeton is. I don't want to say she's flavor of the month.
Okay.
She is flavor of the month, but I don't want to say that she's got her 15 minutes and then she's going to be done.
Okay.
Catherine has a lot of respect in the Republican Party and with some Democrats too. She was widely seen as Governor Haley's best cabinet appointee, and she did a pretty good job. And the thing that I hear from party activists is a lot of them are signing on to her, and so I think she's going to give Governor McMaster a pretty good run in the primary.
Describe to me the following one word: Yancey McGill running for governor. will be?
Woefully underfunded.
Affordable housing should be.
Affordable. You just want one hard answer.
Oh, you can go for it. You can talk. You can talk about it.
No, I just, I saw the story
Right.
over the weekend of whatever it is, the moving targets on the price.
Right.
I hate to think of affordable housing as being priced like airline tickets, you know? And I don't know, affordable housing is an oxymoron in this town in large part.
Well, Brian Hicks, thank you so much for your time. I really, really appreciate this.
Well, it's always good to see you, Quintin.
Likewise.
Thank you.
Thank you.